Today's lesson is Ryan Gosling, from Disney kid to Hollywood heartthrob. Hi, everybody, I'm Roger.
Hello, I'm Kiki.
And today we're going to be talking about a famous person, a celebrity by the name of Ryan Gosling. Maybe you've heard of him before. Is he one of your favorite actors, Kiki?
Well, he definitely is one of my favorite actors because growing up, he was in a number of movies that I really enjoyed, including a romantic story by Nicholas Sparks, The Notebook.
Interesting. That is listed in today's lesson. We're going to be talking about that among other movies he starred in. I remember him from that Blade Runner movie, which was fairly recent, and also from La La Land. So I guess I knew about him a little later than most people, but I guess he started off as a Disney kid, which means he was a young actor, and lots of young people knew about him in the past, and they know about him now as adults. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's talk about Ryan Gosling. Let's listen to the first part of our lesson, and we'll be right back.
Ryan Gosling, from Disney kid to Hollywood heartthrob. With his magnetic on-screen presence and abundant talent, Ryan Gosling has become a prominent figure in the world of cinema. Whether he's starring in comedies like The Nice Guys, dramas like Drive, or musicals like La La Land, there seems to be no role that Gosling can't make his own.
大家好，第一部分首先来看 magnetic 这个形容词的意思是有魅力的、有吸引力的，也可以是有磁性的或是磁力作用的。例如 Beverly has a magnetic personality. Beverly 的个性很有魅力。或者 A magnetic screwdriver will stop screws from falling onto the floor. 有磁性的螺丝起子可避免螺丝钉掉到地上。接下来是形容词 abundant， 它的意思是大量的、丰富的或是充足的。我们可以说 Toby found a hidden lake where fish were abundant. Toby 发现一座隐秘的湖，里面有很多鱼。或者是 The region's abundant sunshine makes it ideal for growing wine grapes. 这个地区充足的日照使之成为种植酿酒葡萄的理想地点。再来要介绍的是片语 make something one's own， 表示使点点点为自己所有，或是使点点点拥有自己的风格。我们可以说 Bill changed this painting a little bit and made it his own. Bill 对这幅画做了一些修改，让它有自己的风格。又或者说 That pianist plays classical music on YouTube but makes them her own. 这位钢琴家在 YouTube 上演奏古典音乐，但使其具有自己的风格。
Okay, everybody, welcome back. First of all, let's look at the title for today's lesson. Of course, the featured person in today's lesson is Ryan Gosling. And we've got this range that we talk about here, from something to something else. So it's basically talking about the history of Ryan Gosling from Disney kid to Hollywood heartthrob. It means he started out acting in Disney shows, and later on he became a famous Hollywood actor. He became a heartthrob.
And a heartthrob is basically a male celebrity who is known for his good looks. Usually heartthrobs are used to describe an actor or even an athlete that are young, and usually lots of young girls, they will love watching him on TV and they like to follow what he's doing. So that's what a heartthrob is. And especially back in the 90s, there were lots of heartthrobs from Hollywood, right? Including Robert Downey Jr. and Brad Pitt.
Yeah, some of those guys indeed are Hollywood heartthrobs. Indeed, again, this term applies to men only. You wouldn't call the female persuasion a heartthrob. I could call her like pretty or attractive or something like that. We've got other words for female celebrities. And here we are in the first paragraph. It says, with his magnetic on-screen presence and abundant talent, Ryan Gosling has become a prominent figure in the world of cinema. So this is the introductory sentence to our article. We're basically introducing Ryan Gosling. We're saying that he has a magnetic on-screen presence, and because he has this abundant talent, as a result, he has become a prominent figure has become famous in the world of cinema. Now, if something's magnetic, it attracts iron or it attracts metal, okay? That piece of metal that we have that attracts metal is called a magnet. So if something's magnetic, it has those qualities, but you can describe someone as having a magnetic personality. They attract people because they really like him or her.
Right, and also they're very charming, so usually lots of people will be very attracted to them. They want to get to know them better. They want to see what else they can do. And not only is he very magnetic on screen, he has a lot of talent. He has abundant talent. Abundant means to have a lot of something. So you can be abundant in money, but you can also be abundant in skill. And usually being abundant is kind of like you're being gifted all of these things as well.
Indeed. So we could have, say, abundant evidence in a police case to convict the accused. In this particular case, though, he's got a lot of talent, and because of these things, he has become a prominent figure, something that sticks out, something that is noticed in the world of cinema. And whether he's starring in comedies like The Nice Guys, dramas like Drive, or musicals like La La Land, there seems to be no role that Gosling can't make his own. So these are some of the movies that he has starred in, and it says there seems to be no role that Gosling can't make his own.
When somebody can make something their own, it's to be able to change something in a way that makes it seem like it belongs to you. So in this case, he's got this immense amount of talent that he's able to do different comedies, dramas, and musical. These are all different styles of acting. But each time, he's able to make these characters his own. He's able to create these characters that when you see them, there's no doubt you feel like, oh, that character is Ryan Gosling. He's become that character. So he's made these characters his own.
Right. So as a result of that, we'll probably see him starring in more and more movies in the future. That brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. Let's now listen to the second part.
Indeed, Gosling seemed destined for stardom from an early age. Born on November 12, 1980 in London, Ontario, Canada, he began his career at age 13, appearing on the Disney Channel's The Mickey Mouse Club, where fellow cast members included future pop music stars Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Justin Timberlake. After stints on several more children's TV shows, including a starring role on the series Breaker High, Gosling decided to transition into film work.
第二部分来介绍动词 destined， 它的意思是命中注定或是命定。例如 Frank's musical talent destined him for fame and fortune. Frank 的音乐才华注定让他名利双收。再举一个例子 The influence of Janet's musician parents destined her for a career in music. 在父母均为音乐家的影响下Janet 注定走音乐这一行。接下来是 transition， 这个动词的意思是转变、过渡，用法为 transition from something to 或是 into something， 表示从点点点转向点点点。我们可以说 It was difficult for Beth to transition from high school to college. 从高中转换到大学的过程对 Beth 来说很辛苦。或者Many workers lost their jobs and were forced to transition into new careers. 许多劳工失业并被迫转向新行业。
Welcome back to part 2. Let's learn a little bit more about the early days of Gosling's acting career. Indeed, Gosling seemed destined for stardom from an early age. So we know that Ryan Gosling started acting when he was younger. So in the title, we mentioned that he was a Disney kid. So that gives us a clue about how old he started. And it was just very natural for him to go into acting because here in the sentence, we see the word destined. And when somebody is destined for something, it means that they're meant to be. It's something that is planned by, sometimes we can say by the universe, and it's just something that happens. It's planned for their life. They are just meant to be an actor. So he was destined for stardom. He was just meant for stardom from an early age.
Yep, he was meant to be a star by the powers of the universe. He was destined for stardom. Destined, of course, is from the phrase to be destined for something. And the noun form is destiny. If you want to impress someone of the opposite sex, you can walk up to them and say, "Hello, I'm your destiny. We belong together." Of course, they'll probably not be impressed by that, but anyway, you could try it and see what happens. But in any case, it seems that he was destined for stardom. Stardom is the condition of being a star. So basically it means he was meant to be a star ever since he was a little kid.
And especially stardom describes someone, it's the quality of being famous, especially for performers, because they are the ones that get to be seen in front of people. So while athletes can also be stars and they can reach stardom, most of the time when we talk about stardom, we're really talking about performers. And he was born on November 12th, 1980 in London, Ontario, Canada. He began his career at age 13, appearing on the Disney Channel's The Mickey Mouse Club, where fellow cast members included future pop music stars Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Justin Timberlake. So the Mickey Mouse Club was a show, a kids show that was very popular in the late 80s, early 90s, I think. And basically, it was just a group of kids that had a lot of talent. They were singers, dancers, they acted. And at that time, young children, they would watch this show and it was really popular and they would really look up to these other kids that they were seeing on TV.
Yeah, I remember seeing reruns of the original Mickey Mouse Club when I was a kid. It was in black and white, if you can believe that. But I remember the theme song. I think it went something like, "Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? MICKEYMOUSE. And I don't know if they used the same theme song for the newer version, which starred the people that you just listed.
Well, I'm not sure if they used it for this Mickey Mouse Club, but in the Disney Junior animated version of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, they do use that theme song again.
Okay, so most of you probably are familiar with that theme song, and you're probably familiar with all these stars here, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Justin Timberlake. And after stints on several more children's TV shows, including a starring role on the series Breaker High, Gosling decided to transition into film work. So a stint is just when you have a gig or you have an opportunity to do something. And so he had stints in several more children's TV shows. He had roles. He acted in those TV shows. And they include being the star in a series called Breaker High. A series of programs is just a program that has episodes, and they probably show one episode a week. And, of course, there are lots of TV series that you can watch on Netflix or other online streaming services.
And series can also be a number of similar or related events or things, just like you can have a baseball series where it will run throughout a season because there are several different games happening throughout the year. So basically, it's a number of events that will happen. And Gosling, after he did these TV shows, he decided that he wanted to transition into film work. So he wanted to do something else that's not TV. So usually when we talk about film work, we're referring to doing movies. And when we have this word transition, it is to basically slowly make different moves to change into preparing for something or changing the state of something.
Exactly, to change from one state to another. That's the verb form, but you can also use this word as a noun, a transition. I'm in transition now. I just quit my previous job and I'm looking for a new one. I'm in transition. I'm changing from one job to another. But here again, we're using transition as a verb. He decided to transition into film work. He decided to do less TV work and start acting in movies, which happens a lot with actors. Or sometimes it goes the other direction too. They are stars in movies and then they decide to be on TV shows instead. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Let's listen now to the third part.
His big break in movies came in 2004 with the romantic drama The Notebook, in which Gosling portrayed Noah Calhoun. The role solidified his status as a heartthrob, gaining him a devoted fan base and paving the way for even more opportunities in the film industry. He soon showcased his remarkable acting range in films like Half Nelson, which earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor.
第三部分看到名词 status 也可以念成 status， 它是指地位或是身份的意思。例如 You should judge people by the things they do, not by their social status. 你应该以人们的所作所为来评断他们，而不是其社会地位。或是 In many cultures, older people have higher statuses. 在许多文化中，年长者享有较高的地位。接下来是单字 devoted， 这个形容词的意思是忠诚的或是深爱的、挚爱的。我们可以说Jamie is a devoted follower of the HBO series Game of Thrones. Jamie 是 HBO 影集《冰与火之歌》《权力游戏》的忠实追随者。又或者说 Brian is a good husband and a devoted father. Brian 是个好丈夫，也是个挚爱孩子的父亲。最后我们来看到 showcase， 这个动词有充分展示或是展示优点的意思。例如 The software company showcased its latest games at the trade show. 那家软体公司在商展上展示它的最新游戏。再看一个例子 Local artists showcased their talents at the Arts and Crafts Festival. 当地艺术家在工艺节中展现他们的才华。
Welcome back to part 3, where we learn more about Ryan Gosling's work in film. His big break in movies came in 2004 with the romantic drama The Notebook, in which Gosling portrayed Noah Calhoun. And this is the movie that I mentioned earlier in the intro, where I cry every single time I watch it, still.
So it's a drama, huh?
It's a drama, and it's very touching, and it spans throughout the characters' whole lives, both the characters. And of course, it was a novel first, so I would suggest you could read the book first and then watch the movie. But either way, both are really good, especially for young adults. And in our sentence, we have the word portrayed. So Ryan Gosling portrayed Noah Calhoun, which is the main male character in the movie. And when you portray something or portray someone, it is to represent or describe someone or something in art form. So in a painting, film, book, or other types of artistic work.
Right. For example, I could say in the latest Disney version of Aladdin, Will Smith portrayed the genie. He acted as the genie in that movie. And in this particular movie, Gosling portrayed Noah Calhoun, who I guess is the main character of that movie. I haven't seen it myself. And the role solidified his status as a heartthrob, gaining him a devoted fan base and paving the way for even more opportunities in the film industry. So here to solidify means to make something solid. Okay, so before that, maybe his standing as an actor in Hollywood was a little uncertain, but after he acted in this movie, people took him seriously, and therefore his status was solidified. Status here could also be pronounced status. I've heard it pronounced both ways. That just means your standing, how people see you, how they respect you.
Right. And sometimes it's your status or status in, let's say, society. Sometimes your job kind of represents where your status is as well. So it's been established that he has the status of a heartthrob, gaining him a devoted fan base and paving the way for even more opportunities in the film industry. So a devoted fan base are people that are extremely loving and loyal towards a certain thing. And in this case, it is his fan base. And a fan base is basically a group of people that follow this actor or singer. We know that BTS has a very devoted fan base and they have a certain name. I think they're called the Army or something like that. So they are so devoted to this group of people or this singer that they even have their own nickname. So a fan base is basically the people that follow this certain celebrity.
Right, so because he has this devoted fan base, because he has so many fans, that has made it possible for him to get even more opportunities in the film industry, and he soon showcased his remarkable acting range in films like Half Nelson, which earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Now, in this sentence, we've got the word showcase, which means to put on display, and yes, he showcased, or he let everybody see, his remarkable acting range. So he can act in all sorts of different movies. He makes them all his own. And we got an example here, Half Nelson. And for his role in that movie, he got an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. He just got the nomination, but he didn't win the actual Oscar.
Right, but he was so good in this role that he was able to get the nomination. And basically a nomination is when people think that they might be deserving of this award, so I'm going to put their name in to see if they will win. And that takes us to the end of today's article. Let's listen to our lovely Chinese teacher, Henny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文一开始写到 With his magnetic on-screen presence and abundant talent, Ryan Gosling has become a prominent figure in the world of cinema. 凭借着充满魅力的荧幕风采和多才多艺， Ryan Gosling 成为了电影界的著名人物。那文中它是用on-screen presence 来表达荧幕风采，这个 on-screen 就表示在荧幕或是荧幕上的。那么名词 presence 注意它在这里是指风度、风采或是仪态的意思哦。好，那另外这个句子它有用到句型 with 加名词逗号主词加动词去表达说有了什么什么，由于什么什么。像我们文中它这边就是表达凭借着什么什么怎么样。好，那么 with 加名词就可以用来表达说明某个条件或者是原因。举例来说 With practice, you will be able to get the hang of it soon. 透过练习，你很快就能上手掌握诀窍了。好，那我们接着读到课文的下一句，他提到无论是主演假会征信社这样的喜剧片，落日车神这样的剧情片，还是越来越爱你这样的音乐剧，似乎没有一个角色是 Ryan Gosling 无法成功塑造成自己的。那这边要介绍的句型是 whether A or B 逗号主词加动词，或者是主词加动词 whether A or B。那这样的句型可以表达无论 A 或 B 怎么样怎么样。 Whether 在这边是引导副词子句，常常跟 or 搭配来连接两个以上的字词或是子句，带出两种或两种以上的选择或可能。那如果我们是用 whether A, B or C 就可以表达无论是 A, B 或 C 都怎么样怎么样。这就像我们课文的用法它有提到说 whether he's starring in comedies like The Nice Guys, dramas like Drive, or musicals like La La Land. 好，那这边要注意就是我们在连接子句的时候，相同的部分是可以省略的。好，那我们来造个例句 Whether it's hot or cold outside, we always enjoy a walk in the park. 无论外面天气是热的或是冷的，我们总是喜欢在公园里散步。好，那补充一下，如果是要连接两个相反的选择时，我们可以用 whether 点点点 or not 去表示。这时候 whether 引导的副词子句，我们可以把它写作 whether 主词加动词 or not， 或者是 whether or not 主词加动词。那也就是说 or not 我们可以把它紧接在 whether 之后，也可以把它摆在子句之后。不过呢，它其实也可以省略不用。好，那我们来看个例句哦。Whether it rains or not, the event will take place as scheduled. 无论是否下雨，那场活动将会如期举行。好，那么以上就是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天单字吧。
Magnetic. Noah's magnetic performance charmed the entire audience. Abundant. The jungle is home to an abundant variety of plants and animals. Series. I'm really enjoying the new detective series I've been watching. Transition. Cindy is finding it difficult to transition from her old job into a new career. Portray.
Eugene will portray the title role in our school play Hamlet.
Status. Kimberly's excellent work on the project has improved her status in the company. Devoted. Mr. Weber is a devoted father who always puts his children's needs first.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I am Kiki.
See you next time.